A thought just popped into my head and I wanted to relay this and share it among my viewers. Back in 2012, Comedy Central ran a segment called The Roast of Donald J. Trump. And in that segment, there was a series of comedians and entertainment personalities that were part of the roast, and they used a lot of nasty, vitriolic language that you could not broadcast on CNN because it was just so out there. And also there was a lot of sexist remarks, a lot of racist remarks, generally a very vulgar environment. However, the difference was that this was a Hollywood event. You know, this was held in New York City, and it was a show that Donald Trump said was for charity, and that's the primary reason why he decided to take part in the roast, because it was all for charity. And so, because Donald Trump at that time was more of a celebrity figure than a politician, people loved him. And there was no problems when there was a lot of nasty, sexist language being used, or a lot of nasty, sexualized language being used. I mean, so many women on that roast, and in roasts involving other celebrities, have been violated with this vulgar language. And apparently nobody has any problems with that. You know, there was a lot of the B word as well as the C word that was being used. I mean, the C word is a big no-no when it comes to women's rights and women's issues. I mean, you just don't call a woman the C word. But in these Comedy Central roasts, the C word is very common. Okay, the C word actually stands for common because it's such a commonly deployed insult. The point is that nobody in these Comedy Central roasts, and especially the roast featuring Donald J. Trump, nobody made any sort of complaints. If anybody did make a complaint, the comedians would blast them and say, hey, you're just being overly sensitive. So then when Donald Trump is making private conversations or engaging in a conversation which he believes is in private, he doesn't know that there's a hot mic running and recording everything, and he's making these lewd comments for which he has apologized. Now, he's making those comments and the whole world is condemning him. The whole world is conflating him as some sort of sexual predator, right? And yet, we've heard significantly, substantially worse language, worse dialogue from the liberal media, from liberal Hollywood, and nobody says anything. And when Donald J. Trump was part of the liberal celebrity entertainment albatross, when he was among those people and was accepted by those people, Trump could get away with absolutely everything. So then, my question in regards to this, what I believe to be a manufactured controversy, my question going forward is, how come people aren't taking the Comedy Central roast of 2012 and saying, hey, look, Donald Trump made a lot of nasty remarks, and there was a lot of nasty things being said in that Comedy Central roast. Why is nobody making that accusation? Well, I'll tell you why nobody's making that accusation. Because if you were to bring up that accusation that Donald Trump used inappropriate language in the Comedy Central roast, then you would impugn everybody else. You would accuse everybody else. Everybody else would have to say, you know what? We're hypocrites. Because we were calling women in that show and in other Comedy Central shows, we were calling women the B word and the C word and accusing them of being gay and all this other stuff. All the nastiest, racist stuff that you can think of, all the sexist, sexualized dialogue that you can dream up. All of that was on full display. And there's nothing really redeeming, let's face it, there's nothing really truly redeeming about these Comedy Central roasts. I mean, it is really constantly, every single roast is trying to push the envelope. How far can I go? And some of the jokes, I gotta say, you know, when you're making fun of dead people, you know, it's really crass. It's really vulgar. And yet nobody's making those complaints about when Donald Trump makes those types of celebrity appearances, because they're all in it. Hollywood is all in it. And if Hollywood points a finger, they're really pointing the finger at themselves. But as soon as somebody steps out of that Hollywood sector, when Donald Trump no longer is Donald Trump the celebrity, has become Donald Trump the Republican politician, then the guns start coming out and the accusations start flying. But I gotta tell you, this is extraordinarily hypocritical. I mean, Donald Trump has been part of the entertainment albatross for such a long time, and he was given a pass just like every other celebrity has been given a pass. But as soon as somebody wants to take the mantle of conservatism, as soon as somebody wants to run for office through the Republican ticket, then it's game over. And I really find that to be deplorable. That I find truly deplorable. It's very clear that when you bring this context in, that this again is a manufactured controversy, that this truly is a conspiracy by the leftist liberal media with their liberal agenda, trying to impugn the integrity of the conservative movement.